Hi, my name is Justin, and I wanted to cover how I am using Tastyworks to run an option wheel strategy similar to the one that you find on YouTube with all of the Robinhood accounts. The reason why I use Tastyworks is because it is a margin account, which gives you a lot of flexibility in terms of trades that you take. It is also more risky than cash secured puts and covered calls on Robinhood. But in my case, the Tastyworks, knowing a little bit more about options than the standard or average beginner that is just learning how to do the option wheel on Robinhood. So here it goes. My account is set up for weekly options. It is a strategy that I've developed over the last 6 weeks in terms of what direction I want to go, in terms of the theta decay that I'm looking for, and in terms of the um, market exposure. I have a lot more options in my mind, or in the strategies that I've kind of employed, a lot more ways to make the 1% per week, which is my current goal. It's all I'm looking for is a 1% return on my capital per week. That's it. I know that sounds really low, but when you get into options trading, that is very doable on a weekly basis. And in some cases, depending on how much risk you're willing to take on, um, 1/3 of what you can truly probably make. So I'm going to start opening up each one of my trades that I currently have that are expiring within 5 days. Again, the 5 day, um, it's only because it's Sunday, it expires on Friday. These actually were all done on Friday, so at the time it was 7 days. Um, my first one is Apple, a 118 put, sold a 118 put at $58. Next one is Bank of America, sold a $29 put for a $36 premium. General Motors, I actually purchased 300 shares, sold 2 covered calls, $1 out of the money, and 1 covered call, $2 out. I also purchased another, or sold a put, and this is the premium I collected, so 25 plus 77 plus 44 for that position. And then space, I sold a put at the $27 strike price for $82 premium. That's a lot of money for this stock. It is also a very high risk stock. I would not make that my only stock in the portfolio. There's a reason why I have a lot more kind of popular stable stocks in my portfolio and only one of these. This is kind of the dessert, if you will, and a very high risk trade. So how this will play out, because it is a margin account, um, I don't have to have the cash. I don't have to have the 12,000 here, the 2,900 here, the 4,400 here, the 2,800 here. The cash requirement to hold the trade is right here in this column. So to sell that put on Apple at 118, I really only need $2,000. So the return on my money is $58 return on a $2,700 investment. And same with Bank of America. It doesn't look like much. It's 36 cents a share times 100, which is $36. That's why I keep saying that. So $36 doesn't seem like much, but when you compare it to the capital requirement to make the trade, which is the 590, that's a pretty decent return. And same with General Motors. It kind of lumps it all together when you have this many options under one. But to hold 300 shares and to do that put and the covered calls and such only requires $7,384. And then space, $82 return on a $470 capital requirement. That's a big return on a small amount. So the most important part about options trading is knowing what your strategy is going to be for each week. It does get incredibly boring because as you plan for each contingency. For example, if Apple drops below 118, a good chance I would just roll it out one more week and probably down one strike price so that so that I'm not required to hold the stock, and potentially collecting another premium on that trade. In the event that it finishes above 118, I let the option contract expire worthless. I keep my $58 premium and I move on to the next week. And that goes down the line. Same with Bank of America. If it finishes above 29, I keep my premium and rinse and repeat. In the event that it goes down below 29, I would probably take the 100 shares. I would allow them to be put into my account. It's kind of like the easier way for me to remember the difference between puts and calls. This contract will put 100 shares in my account if it's below 29. Um, and then once those shares are in my account, the capital requirement would be 50% of $2,900. Which is clearly there. So I'd actually probably hold that one and sell covered calls against it. General Motors, same. If it drops down to 42.50, I would collect another 100, so it'd be 400 shares, and then I would sell 4 covered calls for 1 week out. Probably at if it's down to 42, I would still try to get kind of my dollar cost average minimum, whatever that will be at the point. So probably try to sell covered calls at 44 or 45. 4 covered calls at 45 should put a decent amount of money back in my account. And then kind of using the same example, if it finishes below 29, this put contract means that 100 shares will be put into my account. And with General Motors, in this case, if it drops below 42, another 100 shares will be put into my account, increasing my total to 300. And call means if it finishes above 45, those will be called out of my account. And then, so the 200 out at 45, if it goes to 46, all 300 will be called out, and then I'll just be left with the cash. Same with Space. Space is a stock that moves a lot. I've seen it move 10% in either direction fairly quickly. That's the reason why you get a pretty decent premium. My strategy for next week goes as follows. If the stock market rallies, my puts will expire worthless. I'll keep the cash. My calls, if General Motors finish up above 46, I'll take all the cash, allowing my account to just kind of settle with no contracts on Friday, and then kind of rinse and repeat. Sell a put on Apple, Bank of America, General Motors, and Space, and I probably I might weave in KRE on the next round. KRE is a stock that I've been looking at. The premiums are right in my ballpark. I don't want to overextend. I don't want to over leverage or use too much of my leverage, because the more leverage you use, the more risk you take. If the market goes down, Tastyworks can decide to do a maintenance call on the account and get rid of some of your positions if you're too leveraged. So again, the goal is to get a 1% return week on week. In this case, I only need to gain 1% of $13,534. That's $134. So if most of these trades finish in my favor, I should easily put $135 in the account. As it sits now, it's going to be closer to $340 worth of premium that I get to collect, or stock that I'll own. I'll collect the premium. In the example for Bank of America, if it finishes below 29, I still get to keep this premium of $36, but now I also own 100 shares at whatever the market price is. Ideally, once I sell a call, I want to try and sell it above 29, since I paid $29 a share, or yeah, $29 a share to make money, selling it at hopefully, um, 29 or above on the covered call. If it drops down a lot, like I had in Apple last week, um, 3 weeks ago, I sold a put at 118. The stock price dropped down to 117. Got 100 shares in my account at basically the price of 118 minus the premium, and then the stock dropped down to, I believe, 113 per share. So I sold the covered call until it got called out of my account. Now it's up to 122. So it's those 100 shares left. I kept the premiums from the 2 weeks worth of premiums plus the value, as I had it actually at a 119 call. So made a pretty good amount of money on Apple stock. The idea behind this is, once you have gotten used to your strategy of the option wheel on Robinhood, I don't mind using Robinhood. I like Robinhood. It has its place. But once you feel really comfortable and you've kind of solidified your skills in the options world, and you want to take that into a platform that gives you a lot more ability to kind of manage your trades a lot better, Tastyworks is the platform I recommend. I'm not a financial advisor, so I would do your own research on all the stocks that I have in my watch list and all the stocks that I trade. Again, the risk is that every single stock in this portfolio could go to zero and you lose 100% of your money. There is no guarantees on any of this. I am not saying any company has specific value. I am only talking about a strategy. So if you take up and open up a Tastyworks account, you buy 100 shares of Apple with a very minimum, which in this case would be about $7,000, and start trying to get rich quick off that, and it goes to zero, you are crazy. You are on your own. I would not recommend using that much of a leverage account. There is a time and place for that. There's a lot more skilled people out there that do make a lot more money than 1% per week, but that's just my goal is 1%. So my goal is 1%. I actually shoot for about 3% and hope to land at 1. Now my average over the last 6 weeks is just slightly above 2%. So I'm way ahead of my 1% per week. Again, I use the 6 weeks because that's when I really set my strategy in stone. I stopped going all over the place with iron condors and vertical spreads and cash secured puts or of the like, and really honed it in to the option wheel strategy using Tastyworks. If you want to join me on Tastyworks, just hit me up in the comments below. I will be glad to help you get set up. I'm not affiliated with Tastyworks. I don't make any kind of money, commission, or anything off it. It is something I'd be willing to help out on though. Again, if you have any questions, comment below, hit the like button, and subscribe, because weekly I will be updating these videos so that you see what I do to earn at least 1% per week. You will also be able to see how each trade plays out, because I plan on doing this Friday and then possibly Sunday as a recap so that I can talk about the trades on Friday. Because there is a lot of strategies that I do think about as the week goes on. What happens if I have a game plan on every single stock? What happens if it goes up? What happens if it goes down? What happens if? I come up with that strategy way before I even pull the trigger and buy the stock. just so that I know what I'm getting into, and it also allows me to have a little bit of peace of mind. Because I am so confident in my strategy personally, I could literally just walk away and come back Friday morning to see where I'm at, and then because I have a contingency plan on every single stock that's in here, I will be able to just move with that contingency plan, spend about 45 minutes to set up my following week, and then move on. If this week plays out the way it should or the way it's supposed to, I stand to make a minimum 300, I think it's $320 in premiums. You can do the math on the trade price. You can see it over here. Just add up all the greens. With and then if General Motors skyrockets above 46, that's another $200 here and another $200 there, so another $400 on top of that. So potential of making about $740 if Apple finishes above 118, Bank of America above 29, Space above 27, and General Motors above 46. That's a pretty good return on your money. $700 on a $13,000 account is well above my 1%. Yeah, if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Thank you.